Europe is perp. And if Kate Winslet does not get nominated for an Emmy for her performance of Mare of Easttown, I don't know, man. I don't know what's wrong with people. This is my episode 6 review of Mare of Easttown. The finale is next week, so definitely tune in next week to get my thoughts on that, because, man, this was incredible. This picks up where the last episode left off, where it was really emotional. We lost Zabel, but in return of his sacrifice, we find out what happened to Katie Bailey, so she gets to reunite with Dawn. Deacon Mark is not scot-free yet. He pretty much confesses, and he's being arrested for tampering with evidence and stuff because they found the bike in the river. I don't know where that's going to lead. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Mare and Lori kind of have this talk where, she tells Mare, like, yeah, John cheated on me again. And we get a lot about John and just this whole entire Ross family. They're way more important than we were led to believe in the beginning, which is so crazy. So we finally meet John's father. Billy's also staying there too. And I want to get y'all thoughts on Billy. Like, do you guys think that he did it? Because there's a lot of things that are just pointing in different directions, and I just don't know where it's going. Mare tries to just really cope with what's going on, and just even goes to Colin's mom's house to kind of just say, give her condolences, say, I'm sorry, stuff like that. But she never really liked Mare in the first place, and told her, like, yo, if he would have never gotten that car, he would have probably still been alive to this day. Man, that was tough to see. There was just a lot of gut-wrenching scenes throughout this whole entire episode. But Chief says, yo, I need you back on this case. Mare gets her job back, and it sucks that it took this to get her job back and stuff like that. The Chief wants her back on the case. Meanwhile, Richard pops up to see what's going on. And I'm like, this is what should have happened in the first episode, is saying, like, yo, I got a lot of shit going on in my life, because she does the same thing here that she did to Colin. So I don't know if he's gonna pop up sometime at the end at this last episode and we get some crazy reveal about Richard. That would be crazy, and I would have never saw it coming. But I don't think that they're going to do that. So back at the station, they're breaking down all these different pieces and, trying to put this case together. But then they figure out that Brianna wants to come in and pretty much give a statement about Dylan, and bringing Dylan back into the story, back into the case and whatnot, because she pretty much tells them, like, I don't know where he went between these different times, so you might want to go look into that. And that's exactly what they do. They go to question Dylan. Dylan's continuously playing dumb, saying, like, I need a lawyer, but he is hiding something sinister, because you really get to see what type of character that Dylan is in this episode. So bear with me. Now, going over to Siobhan, I was kind of, at first, I was like, what are they really trying to do with her character? But then, like, as you're watching it, you understand, like, why she is the way she is, and why she, wants to feel love, and, things between her and Anna are kind of going well to an extent. Meanwhile, you have Carrie almost kind of slipping up, taking these pills from a coworker because she can't really sleep. That plays into something later on into this episode as well. Now we get this. Oh man, when I saw this scene of Mare talking to this therapist, because she doesn't need to see this therapist anymore, but a lot of things are starting to build up. We finally get the explanation on what happened to Kevin and how he killed himself, that Siobhan was the one that really saw him kill himself. So it all makes sense of why Siobhan is the way she is in this episode. And can you imagine that, just anybody, just you watching your loved one or a family member, you just walk into a room and they're dead? Like, that is traumatizing. And, Siobhan really plays it off really well. Like, it doesn't bother her. But in this episode, she really caves. Then Mare gets a call from Beth, wondering where Freddy's at, and we get another death. And this is just crushing. You have Beth that's been dealing with her brother, that's been dealing with addiction, but this also leads to another clue. Like, we get Aaron's jersey, and we get this family reunion shirt. So there's a lot of interesting things about to unfold. So we get to a scene of Siobhan, like, just going over the documentary she made, and she starts to feel really lonely, starts to, substance abuse. She's drinking, she's getting high, she's getting just completely wrecked at this point because she doesn't know how to cope with what's going on, and just with her being traumatized of seeing her brother off himself. That's just, I can understand. I can't understand what she's going through mentally, but it really got to her. She was at her breaking point at that moment. She even took out all her frustrations on Mare, saying, like, it should have been you, not me, that saw Kevin that day. Meanwhile, before we get to this scene where Mare finds Siobhan drunk, she's at Beth's house, kind of just paying her respects and her dues, talking to Lori and just asking about this family reunion. And it gets interrupted by, Katie's mom, Dawn, and Dawn just, like, wants to just say, I'm sorry, and I thank you for bringing my daughter back. And I really like that little scene. Then Mare starts to, ask questions, starts to question Kenny about this reunion, and we start to get a lot more information. As this scene is going on, you have John's dad literally looking like he's about to have a heart attack, and we come to find out that, he's been hiding a secret for a while now. But also, John doesn't seem like he's so surprised at all about Billy, but I will get to that very shortly. Moving things along, we get a scene of Mare dropping off Drew to Carrie's house. Carrie obviously hasn't been really sleeping that well, really wants to have this connection with her son, falls asleep, which is very dangerous. If you have a kid that's taking a bath and you fall asleep, he could easily drown. While this is going on, Kate goes over to Frank to kind of just talk things over and stuff like that. And, Frank mentions that they may lose custody within a month, and he notices that Mare's just not acting her normal self, and something about her has changed. As we get towards the end of the episode now, Jess comes back into play, and in this moment where, Dylan is pretty much threatening her, I was like, why didn't you just run back into your house? I don't understand that. She runs completely. It's not like she was like super far away from her house. She just runs in the opposite direction. She could have just went right back into her house. That's just a little nitpick, but she gets chased down by Dylan, and Dylan puts a gun to her face saying, like, yo, you better not say nothing. And I'm wondering, like, damn, then so did Dylan really did Dylan kill Aaron, or was it Billy? So it's like they're doing this interesting toss-up where, you have Billy making this confession to John while Mare is putting the pieces together. John's trying to mend things with his family, trying to make things right, telling Lori the truth about everything about Billy, and saying, yo, you cannot tell Mare a goddamn thing about this. And of course, that doesn't really last that long. As things are starting to be put together, John and Billy go out to this lake to go fishing, and I'm like, oh man, is John about to do what I'm thinking about he's about to do? As they're loading up the truck, Billy notices there's a gun in one of the I forget what those things are called, the thing that you put all the fishing gear and stuff and whatnot. And now he's kind of alert. Mare is going to this jewelry store to find out that locket and who purchased that, and you see the name Ross. So things are getting really spicy at this point. So Mare goes to question Lori, and of course Lori cracks because she and Mare have always been really close, so Mare finds out the location. Chief is like, pull over right now, wait for backup. But of course, Mare is back to her old self. She's going to kind of stop to question Billy. At the same time, Chief gets a visit from Jess, and she gives him this picture, and the Chief's reaction is just like, wow. Whatever that picture might be is probably going to change a lot of things, and things are going to get messy in this finale, man. I can't really wait. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode. I thought it was fantastic. It had me in my feelings, my emotions, everything. And it's sad that we only got one episode left, but tune in next week and I will have my finale review up. Till next time, I'm out.